Hi Year 2, welcome back to your third writing lesson. Today we're going to be looking at apostrophes of possession. But before we do that, let's have a go at retelling our story and bringing the text to life. So I want you to be joining in with the words and with the actions as best as you can. If you would like to do it more than once, feel free to go back and replay the video.
Once upon a time, there was a beautiful girl called Cinderella who lived with her wicked stepmother and stepsisters. Her parents had died and her stepmother treated her terribly. Every day she was forced to scrub the floors, wash the dishes, and brush her sister's hair. One day, they were invited to a grand ball at the king's palace, but Cinderella's horrible stepmother did not let her go. She was forced to stay home and clean the old fireplace because it was filthy. Suddenly, a fairy godmother appeared. She promised to send her to the ball. The fairy godmother waved her magic wand and changed Cinderella's ragged clothes into a shimmering golden gown with delicate glass slippers. Excitedly, Cinderella entered the palace and everyone was astonished because she was so beautiful. Nobody recognized her, not even her sisters. The handsome prince fell in love with Cinderella when they danced together. As soon as the clock struck 12, Cinderella darted out of the palace as fast as she could. On the way, she lost one of her precious glass slippers and left it behind. The handsome prince wanted to find out who the beautiful girl was, but he didn't even know her name. After thinking carefully, he decided that he would ask every young lady to try on the slipper until he found someone who it fit. Everyone wanted to try on a slipper, but it did not fit any of them. Early the next day, the prince arrived at Cinderella's house. Her ugly stepsisters desperately tried to squeeze their feet into the slipper, but it did not fit. Cinderella's stepmother tried to hide Cinderella away, but the prince saw her and insisted that she try the slipper on. It fit perfectly! The prince was delighted. Then they got married the very next day and lived happily ever after.
Okay, now we're going to have a go at learning about apostrophes of possession. So let's go straight to today. We're going to be learning about apostrophes of possession. Okay, so apostrophes of possession. Let's have a look at our star words. Our first word is apostrophe. Apostrophes are little dashes that happen at the top of words. Okay, they look a bit like a comma, which happen at the bottom of words, but apostrophes happen at the top. Our next word is noun. Have a little think. What is a noun? Pause me and have a think. Okay, so a noun is a naming word. So it might be the name of a person or it might be the name of an object. Okay, so that's a noun. Our third star word is possession. Possession means when something belongs to you. Okay, so my phone is my possession, or the tables in a classroom are the classroom's possession. So it might not just be a person who owns something, it could be an object like the classroom. Let's begin by looking at this sentence. A Gruffalo's face has terrible tusks, and his favourite food is roasted fox. Now we might know that sentence from knowing the story of the Gruffalo. I've got two questions for you here. Where has an apostrophe been used? Number one, where has an apostrophe been used? Apostrophes look like this. You might just have a straight line as a dash, or it might be a bit more curved like this. It depends what somebody's writing is like. Okay, but have a look in this sentence. Where can you spot the apostrophe? Okay, you should be able to see that the apostrophe is right here on Gruffalo, okay? And why has it been used is my second question for you. Why has the apostrophe been used? I want you to have a little think, read the sentence aloud, that might help you to think about it. Pause me and then play me when you are ready. Okay, so why has the apostrophe been used? Apostrophes show that something belongs to the noun. So here we have a Gruffalo's face. Now when I say this out loud, listen for that s. A Gruffalo's face. Now because I have that s, it tells me that the face is the Gruffalo's. If I were just to say Gruffalo face, it doesn't tell me that the two are linked together. But when I say Gruffalo's face, the s shows that the face belongs to the Gruffalo. Okay, and when we write it down, we write that s down, we use an apostrophe, and here we use apostrophe s. Okay, so remember, if something belongs to it, another word we can use for that is possession. So the face is the Gruffalo's possession. Let's have a look at some examples. We've got a cute little dog here, and first of all, I'm going to read you the full sentence. The dog's socks were the coziest he had ever worn. Isn't he sweet? Let's look at our steps to success. Number one, find the main noun. Now in this sentence, there are a number of nouns. Remember, nouns are the names of people or objects. And we want to find the main one. Now, if it's the main noun, that means it's what the whole sentence is about. So I want you to pause me now, and I want you to read the sentence and think, who is the main noun in the sentence? Who is the sentence about? So the main noun is the dog. The sentence is about the dog's socks. Now, so I found the main noun, it's the dog's socks. Second step is to find what belongs to the noun. This one's quite simple to see. It's the dog's socks. And what belongs to the main noun, or what belongs to the dog, is the socks. Now, so we know that it's the dog's socks. Then the third step is to add an apostrophe. So this little dash here is an apostrophe, and we've got to add that before the S of the main noun. Okay, so when we say it, we will say the dog's socks. But remember, when we write it, we don't just say the dogs with an S. We also need to put an apostrophe before the S. Okay, so the dog's socks were the coziest he had ever worn. Let's look at another example. Now this time I haven't colour coded the words to give us that extra help, but I think we can still spot the main noun and what belongs to the noun. So first step is to find the main noun. The castle's roof was gold. Look at this incredible castle with a gold roof. Now look at the sentence. Which is the main noun? What is this sentence about? Have a think. Okay, so we should find out that the main noun of the sentence was the castle. It's the castle's roof. The second step is to find what belongs to the main noun. What belongs to the main noun? Have a little think if you read the sentence. What belongs to the main noun is the roof. The castle's roof. Now often what belongs to the main noun will come as the next word after the main noun. That's a good trick of how to spot it. Now our third step is to add an apostrophe before the S of the main noun. So let's have a look. The castle's roof was gold. My main noun is castles, and I want to add an apostrophe before or after the S? Before the S. There we go. So I would say the castle's roof was gold, but as I write it, the castle's needs an apostrophe S there to make sure it makes sense. Next example, we've got a lovely horse. First step is in our sentence, we need to find the main noun. So let me read this for you. The horse's speed was lightning fast. Wow. Now, who is this sentence about? We need to find the main noun. Have a think. So our main noun is horses, the horse's speed. Okay, and the reason why it's the main noun is because this sentence is about the horse. It's the main person or animal in the sentence. The second thing we need to do is find what belongs to the noun. So have a little read of the sentence again, and can you spot what belongs to the horse? Okay, now this one's a bit difficult, a bit more difficult, because what belongs to the horse is actually invisible. It's not talking about its saddle or about its mane, it's talking about its speed. Okay, so what belongs to the horse is the horse's speed. It still owns it. Now, our third step is to add an apostrophe before the S of the main noun. Now, I would like you to pause me and have a think, where am I going to place the apostrophe to make it correct? Okay, I need to add an apostrophe before the S of the main noun. The main noun was horses, and I'm going to add an apostrophe before the S. Now this time I would like you to get some scrap paper. So if you could just pause me and get some scrap paper and a pencil so that you can write along with me. Okay, so pause me, and when you're ready, press play. Okay, we are going to do these steps together now. So step one, I would like you to write down this sentence. Again, pause me and press play when you have written this sentence out. So our sentence says, the door's handles were beautiful. So here we have some doors, and we're saying its handles were beautiful. We need to find the main noun. Who is this sentence, or what is this sentence about? Have a little think. The sentence is about the doors, okay? That's our main noun. Our second step is to find what belongs to the noun. What belongs to the doors? Brilliant. So what belongs to the doors is the handles. So the handles belong to the doors. Now, our third step is to add an apostrophe before the S of the main noun. I would like you to pause me and have a go at putting that into your sentence that you've written. Okay, so we should have the doors handles were beautiful. Remember, we need to put that apostrophe before the S of the main noun, and the main noun is doors. Let's look at another one. Now I'd like you to pause me and write down this sentence. The fairy's magic was amazing. Pause me and press play when you're ready. Okay, step number 1, find the main noun. What or who is the sentence about? Have a little think. Our main noun is the fairy. Okay, the fairy's magic was amazing. It's about the fairy. What belongs to the main noun? What belongs to the main noun? I'll give you a clue. It might not be something that we can see. It might be invisible. Brilliant. So what belongs to the noun is the magic. So the fairy owns the magic. Now, our third step is we need to add an apostrophe before the S of fairies. Have a go at doing that on your sentence now. Lovely. So we should have an apostrophe that comes just before the S of fairies because it's our main noun. So the fairies' magic was amazing. Now we have some examples. And I would like us to either tick or fix them. So we've got our 3 steps here so that we can definitely succeed in cracking each sentence. So let's read the first one. The boy's face was shiny and clean. The boy's face was shiny and clean. Now, let's look at our steps. Number 1, we need to find the main noun. Who is the sentence about? It's about the boy. Number 2, find what belongs to the noun. What belongs to the boy? That's it. In our sentence, the boy's face. The face is what belongs to the boy. Third step. Do they have an apostrophe before the S of the main noun? There's no apostrophe there. So what do we need to do to fix it? We need to put an apostrophe before the S of the main noun. Okay, let's look at this next one. I want you to pause me, go through the 3 steps and see if this sentence can be ticked or whether it needs to be fixed. Pause me now. Okay, now we should have spotted that there is an error here. Okay, so somebody put in an apostrophe, but it's in the noun of what belongs to the main noun. And you should have spotted that our main noun is the castle. So we need an apostrophe before the S of our main noun, which is the castle. So great job if you spotted that. Okay, now we can give it a nice tick, and we can give this one a tick too. last sentence. Again, I would like you to pause me, go through the 3 steps and see if we can tick it or whether we need to fix it. Press play when you're ready. Okay, for this one, we have got the main noun is princes because it's about the prince's search for Cinderella. And what belongs to the prince is his search. And have we got an apostrophe before the S of the main noun? Yes, we do. So, I've just realised that we should have had this in pink and this in green. I got them mixed up. So the prince's search for Cinderella took a long time. The apostrophe is in the right place, so we can give it a tick. Okay, now we're going to move on to our independent task. Okay, so here is our worksheet. You can either be seeing it online or you might have it printed out in front of you. The first challenge of the worksheet, this is the main part of the worksheet. If you look on the second side, we have a challenge, which we'll get to in a minute. But the first part of the worksheet asks us to rewrite the sentences with an apostrophe of possession. Okay, so I want you to write the sentence again on the lines, but this time put in the apostrophe of possession when you need it. Okay, so I'm going to give you our steps to success, which you can then use if you pause it. So pause it now, so you have the steps to complete each of these sentences. So pause this now and then press play when you have finished this task. Brilliant. Okay, so well done for doing that. Let me just find our sentences. So the first one, the fairy godmother one was magical. So you should have it, the fairy godmothers. The fairy godmothers one was magical. Now our main noun was the fairy godmothers, and what belongs to the fairy godmother was the wand. So we should have an apostrophe here. Now you will have rewritten this whole sentence, but your apostrophe should be there. So well done if you got that. And our next one, Cinderella's dancing would amaze everyone at the ball. Our main noun is Cinderella. It's about Cinderella. And what belongs to Cinderella is her dancing. We should have an apostrophe before the S at the end of Cinderella. So again, when you've written that out with your lovely handwriting, we should have an apostrophe S there. Okay, the next one, the prince's search for beautiful Cinderella was fast. Who is the main noun? Who is the sentence about? It's about the prince, and it's about what belongs to him is his search. Okay, so again, this time what he belongs to him is invisible. His search is invisible, but it's still his. And we needed then an apostrophe before the S of princes. Our last sentence is the ugly stepsister's hair was tangled because she never brushed it. Now, who was the sentence about? Who is the main noun? We should have found that it was the ugly stepsisters, and what belongs to them is their hair. So before the S of stepsisters, we can have an apostrophe. So well done if you got those, and you should have had your lovely handwriting practice there as well. Now, on to the challenge. So the challenge for this one is, do these sentences need an apostrophe of possession? Circle yes or no. If they do, add it in. So let's read the first one as an example. The floors were wet. Now, we need to think, who is the main noun of this sentence? The floors were wet. It's about the floors. But do the floors own anything in this sentence? Well, we know that they were wet, but they are not owning being wet. So actually, we don't need an apostrophe here of possession, okay? We could say the floors were wet and just make it plural, but we don't need an apostrophe of possession. So the second sentence, the horse's speed was immense. Again, I want you to have a think through the steps to success and see, do we need an apostrophe of possession? And then have a go at doing the same for the third. Okay, and pause me and then press play when you are ready. Okay, the last part of our challenge is to use the picture of the evil stepmother and stepsisters to write sentences with apostrophes of possession. Okay, so we have time now just to do what we did similar to yesterday. And here we've got a picture of this evil stepmother, her stepsisters, and we can talk about the things that they're wearing, what they're doing. I think I'm going to say the evil stepmother. I'm going to talk about her. The evil stepmother's hair. Her hair is very large, isn't it? And it's got two different colours in it. So I might say the evil stepmother's hair was big, and or maybe I might say puffy. That's a nice adjective. Puffy, and also I can see it shiny. So I'm going to say the evil stepmother's hair was puffy and shiny. The evil stepmother's hair was puffy and shiny. Now, remember, what do I need to begin my sentence with? A capital letter. Now, if you want to go ahead and start writing, please do. But if you would like to watch me write the sentence, you are welcome to. So I'm going to begin with a capital letter. The evil stepmothers. Now I'm going to cross my T's at the end. Oh, that should have been like that, shouldn't it? Because it's an O. Mother's hair. Now, my main noun is the evil stepmother, and what belongs to her is her hair. So I'm going to add the apostrophe before the S here. The evil stepmother's hair was puffy and nice tall D, shiny. Really thinking about the size of my letters there, and I always need to finish my sentence with a full stop. Okay, so you can write one sentence, you can write as many sentences as you like. You've got lots of space here to practice writing sentences with apostrophes of possession. Okay, that is our writing lesson for the day. Thank you so much, Year 2, and we will see you tomorrow.